let's back up. I'd like to understand your perception of the board, Amanda, before going there. You run and you get elected by the members. Now you're there. Is your perception different, and if so, how? I'd like to know. A little bit about that.
I've been an NRA member. I'm trying to think of how long. I mean, let me even go back further. Before I was an NRA member, I was part of an NRA family. So in a lot of cases, and a lot of people, you are NRA because someone in your family belongs. So there's the official and the unofficial. So for years, I was an unofficial member of the NRA, where my brother was a life member, my dad was a life member, my mom, all of that kind of stuff. And I would pay my $35 and then I'd wait a little while and then I'd be like, I think I missed it. And then I'd pay it again. And then, so finally I joined and just went for a life membership because my memory is not, or my attention span or squirrel, whatever it is, it would be like, darn it, I think I'm not getting my magazine again. Here we go. So that was the first part. Then the next part is that when you run into somebody who was on the NRA board, I was like, they were like, I mean, it was a big deal. How many people really know somebody from the NRA board? And it's like, what did you do? And what was your life's journey? And how did you get there? And thank you for doing it. And whatever that was. And so it was from my childhood on up, it was a big deal. I mean, Ted Nugent and Arlie Ermey, and you started to look at who all had been on the board. And it was like, this is pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah. Then, you'll walk through and you'll see like, who's that? That's Quigley. That's Tom Selleck,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I got on the board and Superman was on the board, right? I mean, I was like, wait, this is pretty cool. I've made friends and I've made acquaintances on it since then. But one of the things that I realized was that there's like two levels of people that are on the board. And there are people who are they're all on the board because they believe in the Second Amendment. And even if I don't agree with them fundamentally on something, I have to keep my head around the fact that, look, they're on here for the same reason that I'm on here. We may disagree on something, but they joined the NRA because they're fighting for the Second Amendment in the ways that they think that it is right. Mm-hmm. So there's that. I want members to realize, though, that when you vote for the members and you vote for people because you know their name, because they're famous, those aren't the people in the trenches who are actually doing the work. And so you want to make sure that you spend the time and read the bios and look at people who have the skill sets to take the organization in a direction that you want it taken, based on the things that you think are broken. So, so you don't elect, and he's not on the ballot. So you don't elect Ted Nugent to say, okay, we've got a financial problem, right? Because Ted Nugent he can play music and he's got people, but he's not that. So you're looking for lawyers, you're looking for accountants, you're looking for people who have that experience kind of thing. And so that's the biggest thing, I think, on the inside for me, was the fact that there are this many board members that are picked based on popularity. And then once they get in, then you have to sit and look at them and go, okay, based on this, who do we have that has a skill set to solve this problem or work on that problem or do this? And so that's the second level of it.
Well, I think that you're illuminating something that most people may not have brought to bear, and I'm really, really tickled that you are. Another aspect of this is the committee work. I'm not a board director, but I've been on the clubs and association committees for a number of years now, 7 or maybe 8 years, and I was placed with an additional committee for grassroots this year, and I'm pleased and honored to be able to participate. But I see now that I've done a lot of committee work and participated a lot, how hard some of the staff works and how hard some of these committee members work, whether they're board members or not. And I know that there's a bunch, not all, but there's a bunch, that absolutely dedicate a lot of their waking hours to making sure that things are done and done well. And so I understand completely why there are assertions about NRA that are negative, because the fact of the matter is, I mean, we're sinners, we're flawed, we're error-prone people. We're going to make mistakes. Everybody, board members, people who are employed as staff, committee members, all points in between. And frankly, we're going to make more mistakes. But I think probably for me, it's not about the mistakes that have been made that get me wrapped around the axle. It's about